There is a quiet shift that happens in a room when you start to feel seen. Not truly seen, not understood, but observed. It can be the soft click of a phone camera you're pretending not to notice. The change in air when someone turns their eyes toward you. The small pause in a conversation where you suddenly become aware of your own voice. In that moment, something inside tightens. Your back straightens. Your face adjusts. Your thoughts begin to edit themselves before they even fully exist. You may not call it fear. It can feel like awareness, like social intelligence, like being responsible. But underneath that surface is something older and more fragile. The tension of being watched. The pressure of being evaluated. The quiet, constant question of whether you are coming across the right way. Shame doesn't always look dramatic. Often, it looks like composure. It looks like silence. It looks like laughter that arrives half a second too late. It looks like opinions swallowed before they ever reach your lips. And it looks like exhaustion that no one notices, because no one sees the battle happening inside your head. At some point, the question stops being internal and becomes almost physical. Why does the thought of being seen or evaluated feel so threatening? The answer doesn't live on the surface of your thoughts. It lives in the small, invisible movements of your nervous system. Fear of social judgment and chronic self-monitoring are not signs of weakness. They are signs of adaptation. They are proof that your mind learned, at some point, that being visible was not always safe. There is a mechanism running quietly behind your awareness, internalized criticism. Over time, voices you once heard outside become voices you now hear inside. A parent's disappointment. A teacher's correction. A laugh at the wrong moment. A look that lingered too long. These fragments fuse together into something that feels like it has always belonged to you. Alongside this is a hyperactive social threat detection system. Your brain scans faces, tones, pauses, likes, views, reactions. It looks for danger in expressions. It reads body language like a second language. Not because you are obsessed with approval, but because you once learned that subtle social shifts could change how safe you felt. This doesn't show up in dramatic moments. It lives in the ordinary. You're in a group conversation and an opinion starts forming in your mind. It feels real, honest. Then the scan begins. How will this sound? Will it be boring? Will it upset someone? Will it make you look foolish? The opinion doesn't disappear. It just turns inward, where it becomes safer to keep it silent. You take a photo of yourself to post. You stare at it longer than you admit to anyone. Your eyes don't look at the beauty. They look at what could be criticized. The angle of your face. The tightness of your smile. The way you imagine strangers might interpret a fraction of your expression. You write a message and hover over the send button. You reread it. You soften a word. You add a phrase. Not because you're lying, but because you're trying to avoid misinterpretation. To avoid becoming a version of yourself that could be judged too quickly. These are not random habits. They are rituals of safety. To understand why they feel so powerful, you have to move gently into origins that are rarely spoken about. Many people who fear being judged were not necessarily abused. Sometimes the environment was simply unpredictable. Approval came with conditions. Affection came with performance. Attention came when you were smart, polite, talented, quiet, impressive, useful. Slowly, a quiet equation formed. To be acceptable, I must be correct. To be loved, I must be careful. To belong, I must be impressive. The child does not consciously think this. They absorb it into the nervous system. And the adult lives it without ever realizing where it started. So now, even in safe rooms, with gentle people, in calm moments, your body prepares itself. You monitor your words. You scan reactions. You adjust posture. You preemptively edit yourself. Here is the moment where many people feel something shift, very quietly. The fear of being judged is not really about people. It is about survival. At some point in your life, being misunderstood, rejected, or laughed at did not feel small. It felt like isolation. It felt like danger. It felt like losing connection. So your psyche learned a strategy: stay ahead. Stay alert. Stay controlled. This is the pivot point, and it is not dramatic. It is heavy and simple. You are not too sensitive. You are not overthinking. You are not weak. You are living with a nervous system that learned to associate visibility with risk. And once you see this, something softens. Not everything changes, but the way you treat yourself changes. The part of you that constantly edits, monitors, and restrains no longer looks foolish. It looks protective, loyal, tired. You begin to feel the weight of how much effort it takes to live as a performance. How often you've been present, but not fully there. How many thoughts you've filtered. How many emotions you've swallowed before they had a chance to breathe. You don't fix this by forcing confidence. You don't cure it by becoming louder. The transformation happens quietly, in recognition. From hypervigilance to moments of loosening. From self-suppression to tiny permissions. From constant tension to small experiences of inner safety. You start to notice when your body tightens in a conversation. When your breath becomes shallow before you speak. When your thoughts begin to prepare defenses for words you haven't even said yet. And instead of fighting those moments, you simply observe them. There is no command in this space. No instruction. No urgency. Only awareness. You may begin to realize how much of your life has been shaped by the invisible audience in your mind. An audience that isn't real, but feels intensely present. A jury that formed not because you are broken, but because at some point, you needed their approval to survive emotionally. And here is the quiet truth that settles at the end of all this. You were never meant to live as a performance. You were meant to live as a person. A person who doesn't have to edit every breath. A person who doesn't have to scan every room. A person who doesn't have to earn the right to exist. You do not need to erase your vigilance overnight. You do not need to silence your inner monitor. Those parts of you were doing their best with what they knew. But maybe, slowly, gently, you can stop treating your existence as something that needs permission. And in that soft space, where nothing needs to be proven, where nothing needs to be performed, you may finally feel something that has been missing for a long time. Not perfection. Not approval. But peace. And that was never something you had to earn.